Hi, and welcome back to Find Your Alpha podcast. It's conversations around business, creativity, technology, innovation, matters of the heart, even. And today I'm talking to a photographer who is known for her family portraits, but she's also dabbled into other things as well. She's done baby photos, so I think they call infant, what they call it? Newborn photography. A little bit sometimes into landscape. But she's knowledgeable about the idea of photography. And today we're going to be talking to her about what makes her tick and what makes her alpha. So please welcome Yemi Disu.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, I like to keep my introductions short, sweet, straight to the point, but giving my audience a little bit about who you are and what you're about.
Okay, my name is Yemi Disu. Most people call me YD. I'm a photographer, a newborn family photographer. Let's say portrait anyway, portrait photographer. So I take pictures of everybody in the family. So it's been amazing.
So we were talking a little bit earlier, and I was asking you what made you go into the family or even newborn and family portraiture. And so, yeah, can you just tell us about that?
Oh, well, I started as a wedding photographer, and I found my love for kids, just taking pictures. And when I'm at events, I see kids and, they pay attention to me, and I just take pictures. And that was how the journey of my child photography started. I was like, there should be something about baby photography somewhere online or something. So I went online, I checked, I saw that, in the diaspora, they do newborn baby photography. And I was like, this is nice. So I took it up from there. And then luckily all my brides, they're getting pregnant. So
instead of having babies. So it was a very easy transition for you.
So I started telling them, okay, let's do pregnancy shoots. Okay, once your baby is here, I can try this. And they're like, okay, and that was the journey. So, and then I had to do a lot of free shoots anyway, so that people can actually understand what I was doing. And there were a lot of obstacles, like grandmas, they don't understand why a stranger is touching a newborn baby.
Right.
You're not a doctor, you're just coming and you're wrapping the child, stripping the child and just wrapping, and they didn't understand that. But with time, and
it's become also more popular. Probably when you first started, it was a very unusual idea.
It was very unusual.
Were you like one of the first people to bring newborn photography to limelight in Nigeria?
Yes, I was. And right now I'm amazed, I'm impressed, with the number of newborn baby photographers that are here, and they are doing beautiful jobs.
Awesome. So Yemi's been a photographer for 14 years, she said.
Yes.
And I think it's important for people to look, there's longevity and it actually is a viable career choice.
Yes, it is.
But as you said, there are obstacles, there are ups and downs, there are challenges that you meet along the way, and then you kind of have to adapt and make different choices and and whatnot. What keeps you going?
My love for photography. Photography is my happy place, it's my safe space. Anytime I'm with my camera, nothing matters, and that has been one of my biggest drive. I want to do something new. I want to try something new. And from being on the road as a photographer, just moving from one place to the other, going to client's house, I decided to have my own studio. And then from there, I thought of it that, why don't I have a studio where people can come and be comfortable?
Right.
Not just, they come in and see backdrops and everything. So when you come to my studio, you feel you're at home.
Right.
So most people ask me, is this your house? And I'm like, no. So we're going to take our pictures here. I say, yes. This is serious. Yeah. So, that was it. And that is from within me, because I like my space being very comfortable. I think that helps my creativity. So most times I turn things around, shovel, move things, redecorate my studio every time. So people can, anytime some of my recurring customers come, they'll be like, you've moved this, you've moved that. You're always changing. I'm like, yes, it helps the mind too. So yes, it's one of those things. And then I have flair for nature.
Right.
So I also have my small garden outside, even though people say it's a big space, and I planted all my plants. So I'm a plant mom of over 100 plants.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my word, I have to come and see this garden.
Yes. And I'm still growing them. So, and I have been able to, join both the garden,
Both the studio
and the garden.
And so it's almost like an outdoor,
yes,
but an indoor at the same time. Oh wow!
And it has been very good experience because we could do and create anything that we want to create, and most times it has helped my child photography because when kids are cranky in the studio, I usually just ask the parents to just step outside. So if you get to my studio, you see toys, cats, that kids can just play around in the garden. So all that calms them down. So I found out that nature has,
nature is magical.
It's magical. It's calm. There's a calming spirit with nature. And it works.
That's very interesting. Sometimes creatives are so protective of their ideas and very very zeroed in on what they have to achieve, and sometimes the way that translates is they're not as flexible or maybe even as considerate as what their clients may need to even make them more comfortable. So you're not just treating it as, oh, my client is here, they paid me, I've done the job and go. But like, how do I get the best from the client?
Yes.
And how do I get the best from myself? Because if I have a cranky client, I'm not going to get good photographs,
No,
right?
Yeah.
So that's like going the extra mile to make your clients feel as comfortable to be able to express yourself as well.
Yes, express myself.
In the best light. What are some of the challenges that you've experienced in your career? And I don't know what kind of challenges, but what are some of those poignant challenges in your career that you've experienced that were like pivotal points in moving forward as a photographer?
Okay, so like I said, it's my happy space. So along the line, it had always been a smooth ride because it was from one success story to another.
Okay.
But then one of the biggest challenges I had was when they broke into my studio and took away all my equipment. I was literally stripped of my cameras, my everything, laptops, everything, and that broke me. That broke me really. I couldn't even say it out. I was just stunned. I was speechless. I don't know I can't even explain what happened that period, but but in my mind, it was a difficult moment, but thank God for friends, They were able to rally around me. Somebody quickly gave me one camera because I still had booked shoots. Imagine in December, such a thing happens to you. So it was a sad time, and I think one of the most difficult time. But what I gained from that was, some things happen to you for a reason.
Yeah.
So all I did was, okay, if this happened, what next? And up till now, that's the question I keep asking myself. What next? Okay, if you can't get new gears, what are you going to do? How are you going to do this? But in a short while, everything just, fell in place, back in place. And I continued. When that period happened, I had shoots. I was able to, borrow gears to do my shoots. But then again, I started thinking and I asked myself, you were doing insurance for 7 years.
Why did you stop?
Why did I stop just 2 years in between, And then this really happened because, you keep paying this money and then nothing happens. And then you now take a break and then this.
Yeah.
that was a big lesson for me. And I'm like, no, this is not going to happen again. So now at least I've learned from
that experience.
That experience.
It's interesting you say that because as you were talking, I was going to ask you, do you have insurance?
Yes.
You do have insurance
Yes,
now?
yes.
So I've had a conversation with an insurance broker, and it was quite insightful for me, because creatives don't really think about insurance.
We don't.
And it's when something happens to you, like
That
what
you
happened
know,
to you,
yes,
that you think
yes.
to yourself, I better make smarter choices.
Yes, like all my colleagues, they were like shocked because they knew that I was always talking about, insurance. We're like, no, Yemi will be all right now. She has insurance, but
alas, little did they know.
Little did they know, no insurance, So I think that was the most difficult time. And then other challenges are really little challenges like, staffing and all those kind of things. And maybe when clients are not coming. But if clients are not coming, I always tell myself and my staff that it's time for us to look inwards, get creative, and push something new out there. And then people will start coming. And that has been what has been keeping me going till date.
Till date.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some aspects I think are important for a creative person.
Yeah.
One of them I think is character.
Yeah.
How important do you think character is, or what role does character play in the life of a creative?
I think that is the most important aspect of this profession. As a creative, what attracts customers or clients to you is how they perceive you, how they feel very comfortable around you, how they relate with you. And, it's that relationship that brings the next relationship. And that's what brings the next paycheck, the next paycheck, the next paycheck. So being able to communicate right, being able to appreciate people, being able to tolerate.
Yeah.
That's the word. Tolerate people at all levels.
Be accommodating.
Very accommodating is very, very key, because I've met different people. I've met people that have talked me down. When I first started photography at an event, I was shooting an event, and an old, should I say, friend saw me and felt sorry for me. Yemi, shoot ile fun e báyìí.
Oh wow.
And
that means is it now hard for you?
Is it now hard for you that you're carrying a camera, you're shooting at an event? But I didn't allow that to get to me. I just smiled and continued doing what I was doing. And I closed my ears to all the negative things that people were saying. And I moved on. And right now the story is different.
It's different.
And then you meet people that they pay you to do a service, and they are not nice to you at all. So I have learned to put up a smiling face. And then I remember one client shouting at me and saying, "I'm going to sue you." And I was smiling. And she was like, "I can feel your smile over the phone. Are you all right?" And I'm like, Ma, I don't know. I said, "Stop smiling." I said, "Ma, can you see my smile?" She said, "No, I can't feel it." And that, and those were at the early stage of my photography. And I found out that, being patient is very key. And then I found myself in baby photography, where patience is the key. Is the key. Is the key to, so even my parents don't believe that I can be this patient. So, and that's why I said photography is like my happy place.
Your happy place.
Because if my parents were to describe me, they'd be like, Yemi, not patient, always,
always on the
go, rational, she gets angry easily. And, and I've been doing photography now, and I hardly get angry. And so because of that, I'm even grateful to being a photographer, because my anger level has been wiped out.
Right.
I'm always smiling. I'm happy. because I need to be happy.
You need to be happy.
I want my customers to come in and see a happy person. I tell my staff, this place has to always have a happy feel. Nobody comes in here with a problem. Your problems, keep them by the gate. When you're going home, take it off.
You can carry it
carry
and
it and
go.
go. So we all have to be happy, smiling. I don't want any customer saying, what's wrong with you? No, there's nothing like that. Everybody's happy. So being happy, making people feel comfortable around you. In this journey, I've had clients tell me their personal story. Clients ask me deep questions, talk to me like, and I'm wondering,
why are you telling me your problems?
Why are you telling me
why are you telling me your life history?
Your life history. And I found out that comes with the job.
Right.
They just feel so relaxed, feel so calm.
And they trust you.
And then before you know it, they can relate with you. Like deep personal conversations. And I'm like, wow. And my staff said, it's like you start being a
therapist. Maybe you can add it to your, Actually, it's funny you say that. I know a photographer who is also a therapist. Oh, wow. And so she uses the photography sessions as part of the therapy session.
Yeah.
Once you do the therapy, then you have a photo session. And it's, literally like stripped back, is no, the only focus is you. So she has this session, and this is how she's explained it. She has a session. She gets you to see yourself for the way that you really are, so that you can sit down and get comfortable behind a camera and go, wow. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me.
Nice. I tell people that, or some of my clients, I say, no, I've never taken pictures. I don't like taking pictures. I tell them that it's actually therapeutic because you come to the studio and everybody's attention is on you. You're treated like a queen or a king. Your shoes, everything, everybody's checking it out. It fits you. Everybody's adjusting you. You feel calm. You feel loved.
Yeah.
And then you now see the end result and you're like, wow, is that me? And then I also tell photographers too that it's also therapeutic for us because it's a deep moment when you're creating art. I mean, you're looking at someone. You're not just taking that person's picture just like that. You're looking at that person. You're studying their body language. You're looking. You can know when the person is not relaxed or relaxed. You can tell, please be relaxed. And the person says, I'm relaxed. And say, no, you're not, because the camera gives you another view.
Another view.
You're looking with an inner eye. You're no longer seeing your subject as your subject. You're seeing it deeper than that. You want to bring out the best. So you're digging in deep, and by the time you're doing that,
it's almost like you're digging into your own soul as well. Soul.
And then by the time you see what you have created at the end of the day, it's like, oh my God.
It's very magician.
And it's very relaxing and fulfilling.
Right.
Because you have created this, then you show it to the world and everybody's like, and then you're like, yeah, I did that. So I tell people it is. And maybe that's why sometimes when I'm not feeling fine, I carry the camera. I still just keep going. I'll keep going, And, it's been
Do you get creative blocks?
Everybody does. Every creative does.
How do you deal with it?
So when it first started happening, I think I talked to a colleague of mine and she was like, you need to get out of your space. You need to change your environment to make it work. But then, in the early stage, it's easier. But then later when you're so into, you have bookings and jobs and all that. You don't have that
much space. Yeah.
So sometimes it's difficult. So I find myself when I'm in that state, just shooting because it's now a part of me.
Right.
So I'm not doing anything extra. They've paid me, so I will definitely shoot. But when the creative block is out, I'm back. You see me and say, no, not like this. Let's change this. Bring the lights here. Do this, do that. Then I know, oh, Yemi is back. But I think 2 years ago, I had a terrible one that I didn't even feel like entering my studio space. So I started more in my garden.
Right.
I sat down more in my garden. Then I told myself, I remember my friend's word, get out of your space. So I told my friend, I told myself, let me leave the studio. Let me go out. Let me go and see what other people are doing. But I didn't go to a photographer's space.
Okay.
So I went with a friend that is a poet.
Okay.
So I went, and I listened to them. And when I was leaving,
It was
I
like
was
like spoken word?
spoken words.
Ah.
And then I got the all of that thing. I'm like,
Yes,
okay. This is fun. And it was a bit refreshing. I'm like, I should go out,
Go out more.
do something different from, carrying my cameras. And then after that, I think I took some days completely away from my studio. And when I came back, I was good. And then another thing that I do is do something completely away from photography.
Okay.
So apart from being a photographer, I found my love for plants. And then
So you garden?
I garden. And then I have a skincare product that I do.
Okay.
So that keeps me busy.
That's why your skin is popping.
So I have a skincare that I do, share with body butter,
Okay.
and I do it personally. I do it myself, and that takes me completely away from shutter speed, this my light. No, so I'm just mixing cream and weighing this, so it completely changes. So when I'm coming back to the studio,
You feel fresh.
I feel fresh.
If you can see things with fresher eyes and a different perspective.
Yes.
That's really amazing. Let's talk about resilience as a photographer or as a creative person. How important is that? You share one experience already. They carried your camera, and you have to keep going because you have bookings.
You have to keep
But
going.
there are other many instances that can break a creative person down. And how do you
Yes.
keep going and stay creative in that moment?
So I think the one that breaks people down, because most of the time people ask me, how you doing it? When they come, they feel, oh, Yemi, you're always shooting. You have so many bookings. And I tell them, no. If you're not shooting, if you don't have clients, because I think that's the hardest part for creatives, when you're not getting bookings and all that. And I think the longest I've stayed without having a booking is 3 months, which is
a long time.
It's a long time, And I really got worried initially, but then later I remembered, maybe I listened to a podcast or I heard one tutorial where they said, if you do not have bookings, that means it's time for you to dust your books and your cameras and do something new. So most times when
There's
we don't
a dry
have
spell.
yes, I just tell my colleagues in the office, guys, let's play with lights. Let's do something new. We've not shot black and white. Everything we are doing colored. Everything the customer wants. Let's try something new. And then we'll just try. Okay, let's not shoot inside. Let's go outside. Let's do outdoor shoot. Let's play with smoke. Let's play with, we have fun. And then we sit down, we edit. And it feels like, we had a session.
job.
There was a session. And then sometimes I look around and see, okay, what in all our sessions, which one don't we usually do so often? So, like I said earlier, like I was telling you behind the camera that I started with babies, but later it just went down. So, in a situation like that, if I feel, my hand is getting rusty, okay, let's look for a newborn baby.
Right.
So they don't have to pay me. So I'm practicing. So I'm helping myself. So I would look around, chat with people, or maybe if I see somebody that just posted a newborn baby, I'll be like, can you come to the studio? Can we have a free session? Don't worry, it's on us. And then we use them to practice. So, and it helps. So I'm training my staff, I'm training
yourself.
And then we're moving forward.
And you're keeping that creative juice flowing at the same time as well.
Yes.
Let's talk about education.
Very key. Education is very, very key.
Yeah, because in this space, you have a lot of people that stumble into photography and stumble into it. They're self-taught. They stay self-taught, and I have a saying: you can't grow more than you know.
Yes.
So how important is education, and does it stop? Does
No.
it keep going?
It keeps going. I keep telling. So when people come into work into my space, especially my intern, I tell them, if you're not ready to learn, this is not your place. It's a continuous learning process. Photography is a continuous learning process. I'm a self-taught, so photography stumbled on me. And along the line, I'd met other photographers and, I asked questions. And with that, I found out that, I need to read more. I need to learn new things. I need to go for conferences. I need to have mentors along the line. And that has helped me to grow and to keep me going.
And to keep you going as well.
Yeah.
And to stay relevant.
And to stay relevant.
Yeah.
Because if you're not moving with the trend,
You are left behind.
you are left behind.
Yeah.
So you have to keep reading, and that's why in my studio I have, the interns, I keep pushing them. Learn something, come and teach me. Come and teach me. And they
Because it's about an exchange, it's about knowledge exchange.
Yes.
And it has to be a constant knowledge exchange.
Yes.
So
Most
that
of them
everyone is growing at the same, maybe not
time.
necessarily at the same pace,
But
but you're all growing
growing
at the same time.
So because most times, especially when you're big in the industry, you're synced in on just taking shoots, doing the booking, the marketing, and all that. Sometimes you even forget to check what's happening out there. What are people doing? So most of my interns then, I used to tell them, you will still come and teach me. They'll be like, how now, ma? Why are you pulling our legs? But hey, when they come and I ask them questions and they're like, so because of that openness, when they get something new and new information, they just run down
come
to
and
me
tell
and tell
you.
you, ma, there's this thing. You need to try it out. I'll be like, oh yeah, show me now. And they'll be like, okay, like this, like that, like that, like that. And then I'm like, oh, okay, so we can try it. So I always tell people, when you're in the creative industry, I don't think there's anything like age
No,
limit.
there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be.
Because-
but you know that our climb is very age aware.
Yes.
And I think that also kind of hinders people from learning.
Very
Because
true.
the ones who are older believe that the younger ones
Those-
shouldn't be talking to them.
So
And the ones who are younger believe that the older ones are not approachable enough.
So it shouldn't be because we're all creative, we're all learning every day. So it should be an open space, open end, no end.
No end.
No end. So somebody young can walk up to me, ask me questions, and I'll feel free to talk to you. And then at the same time, that is where relationship too also comes in. Because the way I relate with you and the way you relate with me would make it easy for you to even be able to tell me something when I'm ignorant of it.
Right.
And that will keep you relevant if you're in the older generation.
If you're in the older generation. So, inspiration. What inspires you and who inspires you?
Who inspires me? God. And then some of my mentors, But I think God. Because sometimes it's weird, but I dream about my shoots.
It's not weird. It just means that you're in tune with the spirits.
Yeah, thank you. So if I have a shoot, it's funny. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I just saw this. Okay, so let's create it. And, then seeing the person that I'm about to photograph. So I'm more comfortable when you come to my space.
Right.
So when I see you, then I can put props and things together and just create something. Like maybe you come and you tell me, oh, it's my 50th birthday. And I'm like, okay, 50. So what do you do? And then you tell me a bit of yourself. And then maybe you tell me you're a poet.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh. So for me, I want people to see your image.
Right.
And be able to say, oh, so this is what you do.
Yes.
So I would maybe create a bookshelf, a book wall, a book or something that would speak in that.
That will speak to the core of who that person is.
Yes. So like I did one for my dad at his 70th. He loves to read newspaper. Like I grew up knowing him. So
my dad loved that as well.
So I was like, let's print a backdrop that has newspaper prints, all around. And then to myself, like, should we buy newspaper? I said, no, he's going to come with his paper. Don't worry. So, and he did. And I know he loves to read. So when he got there on our set, I just said, you know what, feel free, read your newspaper, feel at home. And then we just kept shooting, and then maybe just call once in a while so he will look up, and then we'll catch up the moment. And then he keeps doing what he's doing. And many other people like that. So knowing the person inspires me.
Okay.
My environment
inspires
me, and then God.
Awesome. Okay, so let's just talk about gear. Now, I know that you're not a Sony user, but that doesn't really matter in this conversation as it is. Yeah. But what I want to know is, let me say, what are your best lenses? What are like your go-to lenses for portraits? Yeah,
85 mm.
85 mm.
85 mm. That's my best. Even though I've tried all other lenses,
but that's like your go-to lens.
Like my go-to lens, 85. So I can't do anything with that. It's fine. The only reason why I will switch lens is maybe I'm at a client's place and then their space is not as spacious as I want it to. Then I will switch my lens. But then I would try as much as possible to still go
shoot
back
your
to 85. Yeah. So.
How much longer do you think you're going to stay a photographer?
For the rest of my life.
It seems like it has become a way of life for you.
Yes, it is. It is.
I can see it. I can see the love you have for it.
Yes.
And it feels like that is what makes you alpha. Usually I would ask you, but I feel like I know that that's what makes you alpha, is that you love it.
I love it.
You love what you do.
I love what I do.
You're proud of what you do.
I'm proud of what I do.
And you want to continue to do it.
I want to continue doing it and also impacting other people. I mean, just keep pushing photography out there. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been a wonderful journey. I'm so glad I found photography, or photography found me.
And I'm so glad I got to speak to you today, Yemi. Thank you so much for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy that. I hope you're inspired.
I enjoyed it.
And I'll see you again on the next one. Goodbye.